Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the AGL Super Saiyan Broly LR or Surge of Heightened Fighting Spirit Broly, and seeing just how good he is in DBZ Dokkan Metal at 55% in the hidden potential system. Now, Broly is one of the 9th anniversary LRs. He's also the first Dokkan Festival LR of the 9th anniversary, and he's pretty good, to be honest with you. I mean, I think he looks really solid. I think he is quite impressive, at least for me. Yeah, I think personally speaking, he's really quite solid, and I think his banner is really good. So let's talk about him. He's a Super Boss's lead, transformation boost or full power lead of 170%, and an additional 30% HP for those who belong to Exploding Rage or movie bosses, which actually is a pretty good leader skill. He raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn on his 12 key, greatly raises attack permanently, and greatly raises defense for 4 turns on his Ultra Super attack, his 18 key. He activates his entrance animation once only, has key +5 attack and defense of 100%, and launches an additional super attack for 4 turns from the start of his entry. He has attack and defense of 150%, guards all attacks, gets an additional key +1 per key sphere obtained, gets an additional attack of 50% when performing a super attack, gets an additional defense of 50% when it's an ultra super, key +2, and launches an additional super as the first or second attacker in the turn, and key +6 launches an additional super and a high chance of launching another additional super attack as the third attacker in the turn. So nothing too conditional about him. Could be used as a first slot unit depending on how many dupes you have. Could also kind of be pushed into the second or third slot depending on who you've got there, and they'll first start tanking for him. He transforms upon the 4th turn or can be activated from the 5th turn and will create the domain extra dimensional space. Extra dimensional space gives extreme class enemies and allies attack and defense at 10%, and additional attack and defense of 10% for characters who belong to Exploding Rage and movie bosses, and increases damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 10%. So really a good kind of domain, and that will last for 4 turns from the time he transforms. When he transforms, he becomes a little bit different. So he now only raises attack and defense for 1 turn on his 12 key, greatly raises, I'm going to say gently, but greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn on his 18 key. He doubles his attack and defense, going from 150% to 300%. Guards all attacks continue, gets additional key per key sphere, has damage reduction of 26% before attacking while the domain extra dimensional space is active, has an additional attack of 50% when attacking, an additional defense of 50% when receiving an attack. He launches a guaranteed additional, has crit chance of 26% when performing a super, launches another super and has another 26% crit chance when performing an ultra, and launches another super when he is 24. So here's the thing with Broly. You could definitely 100%. Let's just cover his links. So Prodigy, Super Saiyan, Berserker, Shocking Speed, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, all same in both forms. Then Exploding Rage, Full Power, Gifted Warriors, Miraculous Awakening, Movie Bosses, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Pure Saiyan, Super Bosses, Super Saiyans, and Transformation Booster as categories. So here's the thing. In terms of Broly's build, like his hidden potential, I think personally for me, the big thing that you need to kind of understand and build him with is crit. A little bit. Like, I think he's a difficult one because when he transforms, he has 52% crit chance. He also has the ability to launch 5 super attacks, I believe. Because he has his normal super attack, he then launches a guaranteed super attack. He then launches another super attack when performing his ultra super attack. He then launches another super attack when he's at 24 key. Then he can launch another super attack from his hidden potential system. So that's 5 super attacks, which is quite a lot. At 52% crit rate is pretty decent. I think, the consideration to give him evasion, I'm not too concerned about. I think his starter turn defense is fine. For me, like I think it's okay. Depends if you want to run him primarily as like a first or second slot unit. For me, I definitely think 100% he, is way better if you build him additional and crit. Primarily crit. You need a little bit of additional to potentially trigger that 5th super attack. But I think, ultimately, with his crit chance, his good crit chance, I mean, he does a lot. You could also, in theory, give him evasion. I don't really think evasion is needed. Could help him in certain situations where he's going to get hit by a super attack, but he has guard, he has pretty good starter turn defense. I just don't see him needing so much, in terms of evasion, because the thing is, like, his starter turn defense is good. Remember, when he gets hit, he will also gain 50% defense on that. That's multiplicative. So if you see him like 400k defense, the moment he gets hit, he's like close to 700k. He's over 600k. He has guard. I mean, like, he's very strong defensively. I don't really see there being a situation where, the evasion might help you in one or two very distinct situations. But for me, I definitely think as a unit, giving him that additional chance and that crit chance is very important for him. I think it's, very crucial. Makes him functionally a much better unit. Just overall, I think he really can, like, go a bit nuts, do lots of high damage, go a bit crazy, kind of do his thing. And I think that's very important for Broly as a unit. So look, attack stat wise, numbers wise, at 55%, very impressive. 4 or 5 super attacks of 14, 13, 12, 10, 8, 9 million is always really good. It's going to depend a lot on how you stack him in his base form. Remember, he raises attack permanently in his base form on each super attack, which is very, very important. So the more you let him kind of stew in that base form, the more he's going to be able to boost his attack every single time. So you need to kind of like just accept that a little bit. If you're looking to really augment his overall performance, I think that's where you're going to lie. Now, in terms of link partners, that's where things get interesting. So Broly can link with himself, which is probably one of the more interesting things always, because there's no reason not to so you can transform Broly, of course, but his base form doesn't need to transform. His base form doesn't lose a lot. It loses that attack and defense and that additional guaranteed attack, yes, for sure, but it's still pretty good, especially with all links active. Still really quite solid. But he links great with himself. Links well with the physical Broly once he transforms. Also links really well with SS4 LR Goku. Pretty much any Super Saiyan based LR, he links pretty well with it. He links well with, he shares 4 links with a ton of them. So like the SS4 LRs, he shares 4 links. Gogeta, he shares 4 links. The Trunks LR, he shares 4 links. The Super Saiyan Goku LR, he shares 4 links. All of them. The Super Saiyan Trio LR, he shares 4 links. The 3rd year anniversary LRs, he shares 4 links. The God Duo units, he shares 4 links. Shares 4 links with pretty much any Saiyan based LR. Because he's got things like Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, Prepared for Battle, and Super Saiyan. So ultimately, at the end of the day, he links pretty well with all those kind of units. So there's not a lot of limitations to him. I will say, I think his best team is definitely Super Bosses. He also links up decently with Goku Black units. We've seen me using him alongside Goku Black units. And the main reason being, Super Bosses feels like a really good team for him right now. I think that's probably his best. Super Bosses is probably stronger than movie bosses. Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Pure Saiyans, and Full Power are definitely good options for him. So you could run those if you want to. I think those are also fine. But yeah, ultimately, I gotta be honest. I think, good. Yeah, really, really good. Very impressed.